So we're just trying a new microphone system, which is, can you try that now? Yeah. Okay, try that now, please.
Secret agent.
Yeah, secret. Cool. Welcome, thanks for coming along. I'm John. Great that you can all make it. Thanks. A couple of important now, but might be important. The bathrooms between the other things assigned to the left or the right, obvious. And for some reason, we've got, rather than come years, then we'll figure it out. And it'll go around the clock. Pretty much it. That's the boring stuff. I'm sure you've found the Wi-Fi pass. Important stuff. Right. I'm done.
Thanks. I'll be honouring the stars of YouTube and here today to discuss also online video trends and more. First of all, we'll go out and start tweeting, hashtagging and thanking all of these events for free. So just put your heads down, start tweeting and I'll just put you up. So we've got Wines, Bloggers Club, Uber. And if you all need the Uber code to get home later tonight, just let one of us know. Here we go. Pandora, Socialites, Control Room, Goat Farm, and the Quarterly. So, introduce myself. I'm Rochelle, and I'm from Bloggers Club. I connect brands with. So I actually connect their words, their brand stories, and looking to wade through the influences. Beautiful blonde hair. To Johnson and Laird, where her and her team manage social talent, MC entertainers, brand ambassadors, including aka Shan XO, and the two gentlemen who are on the panel this evening with us. Woo! Generally my right-hand lady, but she's one of New Zealand's top influencer marketing experts. As Digital Director of Bloggers Club, she connects New Zealand's social talent with brands and creates campaigns which deliver award-winning results. So thanks for being here. Chris is our most fierce and flossy panel member this evening. He is ranked 45th in New Zealand for YouTube subscribers. He is renowned on the social media scene for his hilarious rants and impressions. So if you haven't heard of Chris before, you should go out and check his channels. They are funny. And Ollie, thank you very much, Ollie, for coming up from Tauranga today to be with us. Ollie is a talented entertainer, presenter and comedian who has built a successful YouTube channel which has over 75,000 terms of subscribers. Since joining YouTube in 2012, he has racked up over 4 million views of his videos. And we have to congratulate Ollie because this week he officially became a full-time YouTuber. So, I thought I would talk to you guys about a few fun facts about YouTube. I could just kind of ease myself into this and maybe get you excited about YouTube. So YouTube started its life 10 years ago as a dating website called Tune In and Hook Up. Interesting fact. 2005, the daily vlog style video titled Creatively was Me at the Zoo, which has had over 25 million views. The most viewed video ever. Any idea of what the most viewed video ever would be? Okay. Yep, you know. Well done. Has over 2 billion views. The top YouTuber, do you know who the top YouTuber is, buddy? Done. Yeah. There we go. He has over 38 million subscribers. That's 8.5 times the population in New Zealand. PewDiePie, PEWDIEPIE.
And who was the most viewed? 2 billion, was it? Who was it?
Gangnam Style. Yeah.
Can you do you go.
A couple more drinks and I probably would. Over 400 hours of video are uploaded to YouTube is massive. That's user-generated content gone nuts. And YouTube's top 3 priorities, and this was, I learned this when I was up at VidCon last month in the States, and the CEO of YouTube spoke. She was one of the keynote speakers. Her priority, or their priority, is mobile, mobile, mobile. So they're really going to embrace the fact that obviously people are viewing video and whole content on their mobile. Random video fact is that 70% of Facebook video is consumed without sound. Thought that was kind of interesting. So how is it that the consumer of today and tomorrow are consuming content? This is how. Social trends and research show us video is on the rise, and the likes of YouTube enable everyday people to publish and share their passions, quirks and talents with their consumers in front of their fan base. Fandom is a real thing, and digital talent is the new now. Oh, that would have helped you, wouldn't it? That's the analyse. Yeah. So, as voted by Kiwi teams, 4 of the top 5 influencers are YouTubers, with the top 5 including local talent. Number 1 is ShanXO. Yeah, pretty cool stuff. So who are New Zealand's top YouTubers? Here's the top 10. Now these are rankings by subscribers. So you've probably heard of ShanXO, Jamie's World, Gale, but you might not have heard of FaZe, Has, I think that's so mixed up today, Scurv and other gamers, or gamers joint unless you're part of the gaming community, but these guys are massive. Isn't it interesting how 3 of the top 10 are beauty bloggers? Did you guys know that 97% of destination video on YouTube, which is where the millennials are hanging out, are controlled by influencers? So that's only 3% controlled by brands. This is big stuff. So with the powers combined last week, and this is only 1 week, so 7 days, these 10 had over 7 million views of their content. It just blows my mind. So these viewers and fans are selecting, they're actively engaging and watching this content as opposed to the traditional channels such as network television, which is often left on in the background. So I've got the slide together for you guys so you can just kind of see the power of these people. This is Shan. Shan is based in Palmerston North, Little Old New Zealand. She is 23 years old and she's had over 8 million views of her video alone in July. She is ranked number 4 in the beauty category on YouTube worldwide. This could be any of you. Well, maybe not, but possibilities. You might go home and start a YouTube channel. So let's get started on start YouTube, and I will hand it over to the panel. So hopefully that's given you a little bit about them. And Chris, should we start with you? What made you start creating YouTube videos?
Originally, it was an assignment for university where we had to create content for YouTube, and I created a channel and everything, and I kind of I'm a bit crazy. I took over and I stuck to it ever since that assignment, and it's really fun. I enjoy it.
Did you have lots of people starting to view your
It
content?
takes a while to grow. Well, it wasn't like straight away. Like when you're brand new to YouTube, I don't know how it works, but when you're brand new to YouTube, you don't get like 1 million views straight away. It takes a while to kind of grow your channel, unless you have like one video that goes like super viral. But yeah.
Ollie, do you want to jump in with that same question? So what made you start creating YouTube videos?
I saw a YouTuber before as well, 101. He made like these Lego animations, and I was like 11 or 12, and so I liked Lego, and I liked the fact that these Lego was just moving by itself. So I started making these videos myself and uploading, and I was inspired by him. And then I came across bloggers like Charlie SMCAKL and Shane Dawson and stuff, and I sort of got involved in that side when I was in my early, mid to late teens. And yeah, I just upload stuff that anyone can self-esteem. So
How many hours does it take to create a YouTube video on average?
depends. I mean, like including, I don't know, but like, I do all the facts right, all the references correct, and I may want to go too long. I don't know what you, Chris.
No, that's about normal, I think. And I think that's one thing that a lot of brands don't understand when they come to us and go, hey, we want, they can just film a video. They kind of think it will only take. And these influencers are very protective about editing style. A lot of you, if you don't know how to edit a YouTube video, you're never going to be, this is their jobs, this is their passion, and they take many, many hours to get this. Why we ask for fees for these people to be paid, because 20 hours of work. Just bear that in mind if you ever wanting to engage an influencer.
I tend to plan them out in advance, and then it takes about 3 to 5 hours. I'd say it takes a day. Yeah.
And that's obviously only crunching your social, replying to social, your full-time plus.
It's quite hard. Replying always on my phone and my phone. So I feel like you're always active.
And these guys often have it on Instagram, so they're constantly uploading across all their channels and trying to build. Shannon XO is an absolute workhorse. That girl pumps out 3 videos a week, and she is the hardest working YouTuber you'll ever come across. She's at that, and it is her life, making things for her channel and following her, seeing what her followers are saying. And
So with that, is there any other ways we've spoken about, like brands? How else can they?
Sure. So when a YouTuber signs up, monetize their channels, and that means they can tap into AdSense. So AdSense around the influencer's channel, and they're able to earn an income from that. And that varies. The amount of money they can make from the AdSense varies depending on how many subscribers they've got, how much content they put on there. So if you're putting out 3 videos a week and you've got 1 million followers, then you're going to be making quite a lot of money off AdSense. But in other ways, you might not. And then if you're signed up to an NCM, which is a multi-channel network, of your AdSense as well. So it's really important to not just rely on AdSense. And that's where
probably leading on from that, Anna, is what is the role of a talent manager then?
So I guess with us, J&L was traditionally an actors agency. We've been around for 15 years and managed a lot of New Zealand's top actors and entertainers. And in the last sort of 18 months, we've morphed into this division that's got of social media, and that really came about because we started managing Jamie Curry. And what we found was that New Zealand YouTubers were getting a lot of support from either Google or even the NCN. So we've tried to create a bit of a community with these influencers and support them and try and help them optimize their channels and help them generate income by bringing them brand opportunities. And sometimes it goes further than that, like sometimes they come to us and say, hey, I'm a bit stuck on this, can you give me an idea of something for a video? Can you help me out with my video? Can you give me some direction? Talent managers are there every day to answer all sorts of questions. Sometimes they have down days and you have to help them out and be a counsellor. And so we play all sorts of roles really, but it's all about ensuring that these guys are being paid fairly and that they are able to make an income off YouTube and that we are supporting them.
Jenna, Jenna, hi. What is the benefit in brands aligning with the YouTubers?
Oh, good question. The benefit, I guess, is millennials especially hate advertising, but they love brands. So it's more about how do we align them. And you're getting influencers like these two talking about brands, and it's not coming directly from the brand itself.
And for a brand, it allows the brand itself to tell a story, so you've got this amazing platform where a brand can get in there and tell a really great story and do it in a very organic way. So a lot of brands have actually lost touch with their audience, and especially in that 13 to 18-year-old age group. So by engaging an influencer, you've got this hugely targeted and engaged audience, and you're getting in as a brand, and the influencer's starting that story, and then that story can keep flowing organically with all the comments that come and everything else. So it's a really great way for a brand to actually, tap into a huge amount of reach and influence very quickly and be able to tell their story in a really engaging way. And like Jenna said, these, the 13, 17 or the 13 to 24-year-old age group aren't watching TV, they're just soaking up content on YouTube. So it makes sense that if a brand wants to tap into them, do it via YouTube. Don't go and make a hugely expensive TV ad because they're not going to watch it. They want to be talking to these people who they relate to, who they find really authentic. They trust them, So, and like any of us, if you trust what someone says, and they say, hey, this is a really fantastic product that I just tried, blah, 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 then you are likely to go out and try it yourself. So, but just in saying that, that's why it's very important that if you are going to engage an influencer, that you get the right influencer. So someone who is passionate about your product and the conversation is going to be very organic, because on YouTube it just magnifies it if they're not organic about it. You can just see it going on in front of your face. So, sorry, yes?
So does that mean you're kind of like manipulating the young person to buy into a product?
No, not at all, because the first question we ask these guys is, if a brand comes to us and says, hey, we'd like to engage an influencer, or we want to use Ollie or whatever, we always say to them, do you drink this product? Do you eat that food? Do you wear that clothing? Like, is it something that you would actually want to endorse? It has to come naturally.
If someone came, if Sony came to me and said, can you promote the new Fantastic Four movie, I would decline immediately. I don't know if seen it. It is just, you will, it is awful.
And these guys know their channels really well. They do say no. They go, oh yeah, God, no, I would never do that, or I'm just not interested in that. So you can't force them. You just go, okay, that's cool, all the way.
So that's the balance between paid for and sort of self-taught or non-paid for content.
So, on their channels, or?
Well, yeah, we've got this right here. What's the balance between paid for and non-paid for content?
What's your balance between paid for and
what's the balance? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
There isn't really. I mean, it's very much a non-paying for content. I predominantly earn from my adverts from Google, and once in the blue moon, not literal blue moon, but the figurative speech. Like I would get a paid for video, and it's just very uncommon. I don't know about Chris.
No, same thing. I rely on the SMCAKL thing, because when it comes to brand integration on my channel, I'm really picky with it, because my viewers trust me, and I don't want to kind of seem like I'm just selling stuff off to them all the time. And
How do you go about selecting brands then? Is that up to you, or is that up to the person who's looking after you?
It's definitely up to the YouTuber itself, because we decide what we basically want to relate. If the brand relates to what we do, then obviously we'll take a look and see if we want to do it or not. If it has something to do that, something that we don't like.
Yeah,
we would never force them to do
never.
to talk about something that they wouldn't naturally talk about.
That's why we always ask them. That's why, you guys know your channels, and we're just like, you know it best, so if you're not interested in doing it, we don't do it.
So who are some of the brands you guys have worked with? Or paid stuff?
I worked with SMCAKL last year on their iPhone 7. Sorry guys. I worked with SMCAKL last year for the iPhone 6 campaign.
Not as high up as SMCAKL, to be honest. When I was younger, I used to use a lot of server websites to earn a bit of pocket money, and so I recently did a video of Opinion Outpost, which is a server website. Just because I did earn a bit of money through them, and I wanted to show 11, 12-year-olds maybe that it's possible to earn a bit more online rather than doing their own laws or whatever. It's just clicking and answering questions and stuff, which is why I did that. Yeah.
Okay, I've got to look at what question I should ask next, because I can have another beer. So, anyone have any questions while I gather my thoughts again?
I can give you some examples of brands that do.
Great.
So Coca-Cola is a classic example of a brand that had lost touch with their especially 30 to 17 target market, and they recognised that with their summer campaign last year, and therefore decided to engage with influencers to create videos about the Colour Your Summer campaign. And to have a brand of that size put all their trust into an influencer, and amazingly they were very hands-off as well. They allowed it to be very organic, and allowed the influencer to fully create it. They only provided a few mandatories and some legals around it, and then just let the brand go for it, let the influencer go for it. So that is a classic example of a brand that has recognised where they had a bit of a issue and have actually really embraced influencers and are intending to do that in the future for other campaigns. They've also done it for Fanta as well. So, but we've worked with quite a lot of brands, and it's good to see, where that's going. Especially in the last 6 months, we've seen that, there has been that switch or money shift from traditional marketing into digital marketing and social, and that we're seeing more brands wanting influencers to do integration for them.
Is that integration just product placement, or is it a deeper entrenched?
It can be different. It can be all sorts of stuff. Like when Jamie Curry did the Coke one, we went to Sydney and she filmed a whole lot of things, and she kind of made a skit out of it. So someone like Shannon XO, she will get beauty products and she'll do like a makeup tutorial or something for a brand, So it just depends on the different influencer and how they do it, and we always discuss that and with the brand and kind of go, well, they're thinking of doing it this way because that's what fits with their channel. And
there's a discussion around the creative idea.
Yeah.
Before it happens.
Yeah, and the brand usually gets to see the video before it gets posted, so they'll get sent it on a private link just so they can check for things like, like if it's Coke, there's not a Pepsi bottle in it or something like that. But we are very much, you mustn't tell them how to do this, It's got to be organic, and otherwise everyone can see if it's not.
So boys, what would be your top 3 tips for brands that want to work with YouTubers?
Don't lie. Don't lie about your product. That's just not. You can't say if you're Pepsi, you can't say it's better than Coke. I mean, that's an opinion. That's you can't do that sort of thing, and it's vastly untrue. And so I can't really think of 3 exactly, but that's probably don't lie. Don't put across a false front. Because if like you're sold something and you think, I'm excited about this, I'm going to get this specific thing, and then you get something that isn't what you're expecting, then that's not good for either the person who's promoting it or the thing that's doing it in the background. I'm just going to mute that. Sorry.
Following on, you have to make sure that whatever brand it is and whatever you're trying to kind of work through with the YouTuber, make sure that it relates to the YouTuber as well. For example, you wouldn't want to give a beauty guru work along with a beauty guru like give them a game to play that has no what is the term? And you make sure that the content creator has as much creative freedom in regards to whatever they create when working alongside a brand.
That's a good one, and that's what I think brands struggle with.
Yeah, taking hands off, they do struggle with that, but if you just let it go, the influencers know their channel better than anyone, so just let them do what they know how to do best and engage with their audience, and you'll get a much better response, and people are more likely to then go and buy your product.
Okay, so, go. Jump in. I don't mind you guys jumping in. Helps me.
You guys build the communities outside of the YouTube channel?
Yeah, there's lots of different social platforms. Like you've got Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Snapchat. Snapchat's growing extraordinarily. I get a lot of people adding on Snapchat and talking to me on Snapchat. Like I find it's more of a personal communication through Snapchat. I mean, we'll forget what it was originally intended for, but we don't use that. Wouldn't be here if that wasn't the case. But it's exciting that you can have these personal, you reply to a comment on YouTube and it's like everyone else can see it, but this is just between you and the person who's wanting to talk to you, and that's exciting.
Do you structure it quite deliberately? Like you put a video out there and then follow a process with Snapchat or the other channels, or do you just kind of just randomly just hit and start all over the place?
In regards to that, yes. Whenever you upload a video on YouTube, you have to utilize all your social media platforms that you are on, whether it be Twitter, even Facebook, Snapchat. I always follow up, me personally, whenever I upload a video. I always make sure that I do a tweet about the video. I always make sure that I post about it on Facebook and also on Snapchat and Instagram as well. Just because when you upload a video, not everybody knows that the video is up. So you've got some followers that are following you on Instagram that are not on YouTube at the time, and obviously Instagram's always on the phone. So they're like, Chris has uploaded a video, clicks on the link, there we go. So you have to utilize all the other social media platforms that you can't have.
And just one more, are you also converting that to your own list?
What do you mean?
Your own, like your own email list? Do you building your own email list?
Email's a bit redundant these days. Like 12, 13-year-olds, it's like the main people who use YouTube, like they don't use their emails really, it's all Facebook and stuff, and they don't really use emails to communicate. So I mean, that's people I know who build email lists are like sort of these entrepreneurs who aren't really associated with entertainment. I mean, you could. I mean, I know one or two people who have email lists for updates about their life, but not for videos as such. But YouTube sends out subscription emails every week anyway, so you know, if they check their emails, they see that. Yeah.
So with that, what age group is your fan base?
18 to 24-year-olds is my main one, and then it goes 13, 17, and then just it's pretty level on the rest of them really.
Yeah, I'm the same. And definitely 18 to 25, I would say. I wouldn't recommend people from 12 to 17 watch my videos. They can be a bit crazy. So, yeah, my target audience is definitely 18 to 25. Even, they can be, when they be grandma watching as well. She probably have a hard time.
And that's the same across all the influencers that we represent. The key market is at 18 to 24, and then the 13 to 17 is the next biggest market. So if you're tapping into 13 to 24, you're getting the bulk of it.
What are the biggest categories on YouTube, Jenna?
Music, sports and gaming, they're the ones.
Your music, in general, but gaming, I suppose, not being a gamer, I live in this whole other bubble that doesn't have anything to do with gaming. Who's a gamer in here? Yeah, see, quite a lot of you guys. So you would have known the other people that we had up on the, like the Scurv and the other people that game? Right. Yeah. Perfect.
I've noticed gaming's really blown up. When I've set up a gaming channel, people kept, people who watch my videos would ask me to set up a gaming channel because they wanted to see, because obviously a lot of people are into gaming, so they want to see my reaction to games and different things online, because it's such a broad category. Like anyone can enjoy it. It's not social. It's not current trends or whatever. It's you know, you can play something from the 60s. Pong, I think that's the 60s. That's not an enjoyable video actually. Ignore that. Yeah, so I don't
Do you
know
use a joystick to play that?
Yeah, ignore what I just said. That was not for me. Sorry about that.
I don't have a whole heap of other questions that I've kind of got, so is there anything else you guys want to add to before we open up to the floor? No, you're okay? So do you guys want to do questions? We'll do hand around the mic. Stand up. Oh, I like how you're leaning.
It'd be great if you please use the microphone because we've got a recording of this for a EZ Tech podcast. So then.
And if you can please stand up
That'd be
while
helpful
you're
too.
micing.
Thank you. Can you tell me how brands are measuring the success of campaigns with influencers? Is it just based on the number of people that are watching the video, or is it some other metrics?
They're also looking at the comments, so we'll go through and look at how, what people are saying about it, how often they're talking about it. We do look at the views as well, and how many minutes they watch it as well. That's really, really important, how many likes they get. So and even when we quote out our fees, we do those based on all those different things. So that is like the engagement, the reach, the driving awareness, the influence. So those are all things that you can track, because YouTube actually has really good analytics. Facebook has quite good ones too, Instagram doesn't. So you can actually track your YouTube campaigns, and you can track them against other campaigns that have run, other videos that people have done. So there's lots of different ways you can look at it.
Is your fee performance based?
Sorry.
Is your fee performance based?
We do have a fee in there that we can work that into it, but basically we have a standard fee for our YouTubers. We prefer that to be paid up front, only because the social world can be a bit dodgy and some people don't pay. So we actually request that our influencers
get paid up front. And I think it's also about the content creation as well. The content is live forever and ever and ever, so you're actually paying for that creation. Amplification can happen. You can put extra amplification behind things, whether it's YouTube, Facebook. You can do extended stuff. You can do outbrain. So the reach is kind of like the second part. There's different parts. One's the content, one's the amplification, and then obviously the engagement, which is the responsibility of the talent as well.
So with sort of 20 hours for a video, do you see yourselves, or do you see people as being pure YouTubers, or as a part of the content stack, when it takes so long to just do one post? Can it be introduced to the content stack along with blogs and all that kind of stuff, or is it just purely the YouTube and then you go and amplify it?
Are you meaning how long he takes to do it?
He also takes 20 hours.
Yeah.
So 60-hour week, that's 3 YouTubes and basically nothing else. So it'd be hard to do that as part of the content stack with your blog, with website doing stuff, with etc. So do you see YouTube as something that you have to specialise in, or it can be used as part of the content stack?
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, YouTube, it takes longer than most other things. Like writing a blog takes, 2 hours tops, Because if you've already got the information from the video based on the blog, you can write the blog in 2 hours because it comes out quite easily after you've written the video or got the points from the video. And the 20-hour video, I mean, people spend 40, 60 hours a week at work, but this is still just a hobby for myself. So I will spend my 3 hours working as well because I enjoy it. So really, I could work realistically. I haven't done the mathematics. Perhaps 120 hours a week. That's too many. Ignore that. I will track that back to a suitable amount of hours. But yeah, I mean, he's making perhaps a little Facebook video or a Vine that's only 6 seconds long. It takes a minute or 2 to think of that. I mean, some Facebook videos are longer, like Chris's, but you can spend 2 minutes, 3 minutes thinking of an idea, and then 5 or 6 minutes working on that idea, and then it's a Vine. You're out there. You're out on the Vine part. And tweeting, it's easy. You just tweet. It's pretty much nonsense. Don't pay much attention. And then blogging is 2 hours on YouTube, and it's just YouTube's the main part of the pyramid. Then you've got a few points on top, which it's just the garnish essentially. Yeah, I don't know. Good call.
Hi. Overseas, I've noticed that a lot of viewers are getting frustrated with the amount of sponsored videos. I've noticed in New Zealand that not many videos are disclosing whether or not they are sponsored or not. Do you guys point out if you have been sponsored?
Yeah, always. Any video I do that's sponsored, I go, this is being sponsored. I am being paid to say this, but these are my views. I want people to understand that. As organic as my views are, I'm being paid to put those points across, otherwise I may not have said that, or I may not have said it in such a way that it would excite others. But yeah, I mean, always be honest, and up front, otherwise, if people find out that I did a video about Coca-Cola, I was like, I love Coca-Cola, and they found out it was sponsored, I mean, it should be quite obvious it was sponsored, but if they found out it was sponsored, then they might get, I'd be a little bit miffed, I suppose.
When it comes to sponsored videos, I kind of would recommend that you actually disclose that information, because it's like you're being fake. We don't like people who are fake. So it's always good to kind of disclose that this is a sponsored video, blah, blah, blah. Also, you can write it in the description box below as well, and kind of just disclose it out to everyone, just so that they don't feel like it's being sold. Yeah.
And there are some stats around that say that it doesn't actually matter how many brands an influencer does sponsor, as long as they're organic and authentic about it. So, that's kind of it. As long as you love the product and you are deadly serious that you want to endorse that, then it doesn't really matter how many you do. The beauty bloggers do a lot of sponsored ones, but that's because actually they probably couldn't do their channels if they didn't, because they've got to be using different kind of makeup or clothes or whatever all the time, so they actually need brands to say, hey, will you do clothing haul on my brand or whatever. So you actually, you need those when you're a beauty blogger.
Yeah, I think there has to be that disclosure there, but if there's a brand fit, then it shouldn't matter.
Any other questions out there?
Hi guys. Just a quick question. if what you're measuring is essentially views and comments, right? I can measure views and comments of a commercial that I upload on YouTube, right? Which could either be just a standalone or as a preload, preload commercial. So what's my incentive as a brand to want to pick an influencer or just?
I think it's that was probably a general overview of what we measure on. It's really depending on the objectives of the campaign to start with, and why the brand is actually wanting to engage an influencer. And so those are all marked out at the very beginning. There's a whole range of different reasons why, different KPIs are put in place, and then that's measured back. It's about brand love, purchase intent. I mean, there's so much more than just a view. And also, a view is not a view is not a view. A Facebook view on video happens automatically. That goes for 3 seconds. A YouTube view, you actually have to pick which channel you want to watch and click to watch it. So there's that as well. It's the time that they're watching. It's a whole range of deeper things which are outlined at the very beginning when you start working with these influencers.
So if your objective is general awareness, TV campaign could be great. If it's about connection, if it's about depth, if it's about, then influencers brings a realness. So I think it's not really about how do you compare against TV versus an influencer, it's what's your objective, what's your strategy to get there, and therefore what's the right channel to pick, a TV ad or an influencer.
And what's the marketing mix of it, yeah.
Plus, also, if you were to choose to have a commercial on television or radio or a pre-roll on YouTube, that's not going to get as much, especially on YouTube, it's not going to get as much interaction with people who are watching the video. Like if I was watching a YouTuber I enjoy and I saw a pre-roll for deodorant, fantastic, thank you, deodorant, and I go, oh, just deodorant, and then I go onto the video and I see this YouTuber I watch spends 10-15 seconds talking about the deodorant or using deodorant. I'd be more likely to think about that deodorant the next time I go to the shop, see that deodorant and think, oh, so-and-so uses that deodorant, I want to try that out, they said it was good, I'll give that a go, rather than just seeing a pre-roll that's like, deodorant. Yeah, basically, you're waiting with the mouse, 5, 4, 5. It's like the Hunger Games or something. I don't know. It's rather heartbeating.
A great quote that came out of VidCon, being interruption actually start being the content that the consumers enjoy, which I thought was really lovely because, like what you said, you're waiting there, 4, 3, 2, skip. I don't want to watch that shit. No, sorry, stuff. Neither does anyone else. So how do we, as brands and as marketers, or not all of us, but actually change that?
Yeah, following on from that comment about content consumers, where do you think it's heading with our shorter attention spans and more and more content? Where does it go from here? Because I don't mean replacing long videos with 15-second Instagram content. I mean, like, where does it go? We want information, but we're not prepared to actually read it or listen to it, or our attention spans are really short.
Excitement, I guess. Like if I was to watch a 5-minute video of someone just talking relatively monotonously, I would switch off immediately. But if I was to watch, I know, this is just from a creator's point of view. If I have to be excited. If people want to watch me, I have to move around. I mean, I wouldn't do the jump cut thing, but like move around all the time and have colours and things flying in and out. No dragons, but just stuff similar to dragons like that. And then it has to be exciting. You're going to watch it. You want to find out what's going to happen next, and then it does happen. You're like, oh, that's amazing, but what's going to happen next? And you just have to keep having that slight tension as an undertone of the video, and then and people want to see it. People want to see more, and it's. I mean, I understand the attention spans are decreasing immensely. Mine is horrifically short, but that's why my videos. I try to keep my videos 3 minutes or less, or something, because
I think if you're engaged in the content, you're willing to watch it. Like some of the beauty bloggers' content is like 12 minutes long, but people are watching it because they actually want to see the outcome at the end. They want to see that before and after, and they aren't truly engaged in that content. So I think it just comes down to like if you really want to watch it, then yeah.
You have to make sure that your content is like eye-catching and captivating. Like you can't keep it boring and dull. Like I know I watched a couple of videos on YouTube and like they just talk for the whole 7 minutes about stuff that I don't really care about. In regards to like content, you should just make sure that it kind of attracts your viewers, and you have to have like things in the video that keeps them watching. It's like
personal stuff.
Yeah, personal stuff. Yeah, they like it when you're open.
Q&A is always rate really, really well because they found out more about the influencer and they love that. And I think, you know, that's the great thing about influencers. They're not trying to be perfect. They're not some photoshopped celebrity. They're real people, you know, they're the person next door. And people can really, relate to them, you know, and their videos aren't perfect, you know. They put in all the mistakes that they make and everything, and that all comes down to the editing, of course, but, you know,
if you're watching Michael Roberts on 1 News or 3 News, whichever one he's on, you can't comment below 1 or 3 News and say, oh, I didn't think your perspective on the news story tonight was that accurate. But you're watching a YouTube video about someone who's doing something similar, you can go, you know what, I wasn't, you know, too keen. There's the option of the creator responding to your comments. So there's this sort of interpersonal relationship there, and you can sort of feel like you're benefiting them or they're benefiting you in a way. It's quite exciting.
Two-way.
As YouTube channels, and like, where do you really want to end up with what you're doing now?
Not sure. I mean, you know, you just flying with the wind at the moment. Like, you know, you start off with hobbies, become something a bit more than a hobby, or you have interests elsewhere, which is still related to YouTube and what we're doing. But you know, right now, enjoy what we're doing. If it slows down one day, if you still enjoy the hobby, it doesn't have to be an end goal for it. You can ride the wave until it crashes and then still stay in the ocean or something, you know?
Chris, do you have anything to add on to that?
My main goal is just to entertain, because I just love entertaining people and being crazy. Because with my videos, what you see is what you get, like literally. If you watch them, it's just like, yeah, you know, I don't hold anything back. But I really don't expect anything out of it. I don't see any goals, and like, I'm just going with the flow. Yeah.
So you're basically saying that the short things that you're talking about, everything, including content, needs to be now?
Like relevant?
Right, relevant and right
Yeah.
now. So effectively you're talking about content-based events, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Right. Like via an influencer will be in a short conversation with you and Jamie Curry.
So after actually Jamie spoke at a Google dinner and wanted to engage with her to talk about 4-year-olds about being more responsible with money, like what can rip you off, etc. So they kind of wanted to do that in a very engaging and organic. The videos were creating an account, a credit card, find things that were happening in their life, kind of some of the key messages that they wanted to get it. So and that's been very successful.
Sorry, I was just reading one of the tweets from tonight about the email. It just moved somewhere. Look at the influencers' faces when asked. Brilliant.
The brands that integrate influencers. If you were talking when you're 16, 17, talking in the playground, you don't just integrate your team, having these personal relationships with your friends and learning what happened on the weekend, finding out what they're into, and that's sort of what YouTube is like, I suppose. It's not as personal as a friend, but it can almost feel like that, and that's why people are so, they feel so invested in this relationship and they're interested in hearing what this person's saying, because it's, it is almost personal. It's almost like a brother and a friend. No.
Yeah.
No. How do you deal with the haters?
Ollie's videos about he took it back to
I don't know. I mean, you can't fight fire with fire, or else someone's going to get burned and stuff like. I mean, you can replace the hater, if you want to call it a hater. Usually, it's just a very lonely person shouting their opinion at no one who cares. And I've lost my train of thought. I apologise. It'll come back to me. I mean, like, you just got to have faith in that what you're doing is enjoyable, and when it comes down to if you enjoy doing it, why stop? If someone else doesn't enjoy watching it, you don't have to.
And actually the communities often self-regulate themselves, so you often see a band post go up and the other subscribers will jump in there and self-regulate it. So like, I know with Jamie Curry, she doesn't often comment back to her subscribers that comment, but you often, I read her comments, you go through and someone might say something down on behalf of
That's why I like haters, obviously, because I'm so out there, I'm not like your ordinary boy. So to deal with haters, I don't like reading through, like I don't like I read, I'm like, oh, go away, anyways, irrelevant. And then, but what I love is that my community just like who do you think you are, like blah blah blah, and they're reading. So fun.
There was one on Chris's Twitter recently about Caitlyn Jenner, someone liking Caitlyn Jenner, so that's meant to be assaulting. And Chris was like, yes.
Yeah, no, someone was like, oh, hey, Caitlyn Jenner. I was like, oh, thank you. Thank you. Oh, I'm a multi-millionaire. Who are you again? Sorry. I felt shy. That's like a compliment to even be compared to Caitlyn. Like, go away.
I guess the worst thing about hate comments is sometimes they'll say something you're thinking yourself, and that could really make that worse. And you know, it hurts when you see these people writing, like, kill yourself or whatever, because that might not affect me, but it might affect someone else, like a 13, 14-year-old who's going through very difficult issues in their life. And that's hurtful. I mean, to think about that this person could ruin this other person's part of their life just by, because they might be in a bit of a bad place, and so they're letting out their angst and loneliness. And it's just, you know, it's almost sad, but you know, you just got to, I guess, accept it, and that's what happens. I mean, you know, people have a lot worse than just a few words hurting your ego, you know?
Yeah, I think you're right, because a lot of people actually do look up to the YouTubers and they'll say to them, oh my God, I'm so pleased you put that on there because, you know, I love you and I was having a really bad day and that made me feel really good. It's actually really interesting to go through the comments and see those kind of things. And so then when someone puts something nasty up, you know, it actually makes all those other people that are reading the comments feel bad. Like Shannon Exo last week had someone put up, I wish you'd die of cancer. And she actually addressed that and she went out there and addressed it. But that's the kind of stuff that is said to them all the time. It's awful. And, you know, and it's awful for the people who love them, and they do love them. I mean, at VidCon, when we were there a couple of weeks ago, these YouTubers had to go through back doors. They're like the new rock stars of today because they get mobbed as screaming teenagers.
It's like it was in down and it was...
Yeah. Deeply love them. They've got deep relationships with them, and so when people say something nasty, it actually impacts them.
Who is that?
Are you guys all still happy with questions coming around? Yeah?
Sorry to derail from the spotlight we just shone. But I just had a semantic question. We've been talking today about influence, embrace the term creative, and I think that there's a big difference kind of in terms. I just kind of wanted to pose to you guys what you would describe yourself as and kind of where you fit on that spectrum.
I don't know, I guess like I wasn't alive back then, but I can only assume that television was viewed the same as YouTube and Netflix is viewed now. Like people, all these people born up growing up in the 20s and 30s, they listen to radio, they sat around the radio that evening and listened to these radio shows, and then television comes. It's so in their room, and it's so in how it's just a part of our lives, and people say, don't watch television, it's bad for you, whatever, and now it's being viewed as, you know, it's kids having fun, you're watching teenagers, something that's actually produced, but I view myself as with a camera and far too many people who know my name really.
I think they're creators in them every week, every 3 days, however often they post, and they've got to have those creative ideas, and these guys are hugely creative. You know, they're the ones who are coming up with it, and they are directing it and editing it and producing it. They're all in one. If you actually had to go out and get a film crew to do what they do, it would cost you a lot of money, right? So they are creators, but then when they post their videos, they're then influencing people with their content. So it's both.
You can sort of make near film quality with a Canon 60D and a Sigma lens or whatever. You can get that Rode background, you can get that decent audio with a Rode video mic. It doesn't cost as much as people think it does. $10,000 budget. Like there was a film recently, $1,000 it cost to make, and it's made You can do so much with nothing, almost. You know, you can.
In terms of frequency, would it be uploading to maintain your relationship with the viewers and stuff like that?
I don't know, I guess 1 week is the minimum. Once television shows are on once a week, and they have that slots, but that's transferred over to YouTube and such. Every Sunday at 5 AM, but Sunday is sort of my spot on Monday, and that's what I guess people can create. They can come in and watch the new favourite Alfie or whatever.
Yeah, in regards to content and frequent posting, I would recommend stop for like 2 weeks. It's not like TV, how you get on TV shows. Like with YouTube, you have to keep posting, because if you stop, then I think people would just forget about you. I think that's what would happen. Yeah, so.
We'll probably wrap it up here, guys. If everyone's one thing, which is the Fitbit winner, who. Anyway, is Jennifer Lewis here? Lewis was the Fitbit winner who had to comment on a SMCAKL's post. And then the next one is, oh there we go, Passion's gone viral, so that's save the date. It's Wednesday the 16th of September. There's heaps of new faces, so it's really a big round of applause to thank our panel for coming. And even in Tauranga, so you guys can now get coffee in Tauranga. So thanks very much, guys.
I have one boring housekeeping thing, because I like boring housekeeping things. Would be great if you guys could pick up any empty bottles or any bottles around you, any rubbish like that. Please leave them on the tables up front, and there's evidence or coffee jugs that are recycling, things like